Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my 5 best and 5 worst things about the Alcatel 3V 2019. So let's get started. So this is the Alcatel 3V 2019. Now let's first go over my 5 favorite things about this phone. Now my first favorite thing about the device is the display. Now this phone features a massive 6.7-inch display, so it is very large and definitely great for content consumption. It features a resolution of 720p. It features LCD technology, a PPI of 240, and an 18:9 aspect ratio. So despite this display being 720p, text looks super crisp and clear in here. The colors that you get with this display are also very good, and I don't have anything bad to say about it. The display over-delivers on what I was expecting before I got this phone, and it really is nice. Now, having a massive display like this makes it great for watching video content. It also makes this phone a great device to read text. You can see here that text is super sharp, and especially if you don't have the best eyesight out there, then this phone will be your best friend. This phone is an excellent middle ground between using a tablet and a smartphone because you really do get the best of both worlds. You still get a fairly compact design, so the phone is definitely still pocketable, but at the same time, you're getting a massive amount of screen real estate. My second favorite thing about the Alcatel 3V 2019 is the photo quality from this device. Now, the front-facing camera on here is an 8-megapixel camera. You do get portrait mode with it, and you also get portrait mode with the rear camera. Now the rear camera module consists of 2 cameras, with a 16-megapixel main camera and a 5-megapixel secondary camera for depth sensing. So it really is a true portrait mode. So you can kind of see it through the camera here, but essentially, yeah, you're getting portrait mode with the front-facing camera, and same thing for the rear camera, and the results from it are actually really good. You're getting a very nice background blur with that portrait mode, and for photos that don't use the portrait mode, they're still going to look really awesome with nice sharp focus and great colors. Now there's no doubt that the camera quality from the Alcatel 3V 2019 isn't going to be as good as a flagship phone like the iPhone 11 or Galaxy S10, but this phone does not compete against either of those phones, and considering that this is a budget device, I am very impressed with the camera quality. My third favorite thing about the Alcatel 3V is the massive internal battery. Now this device features a 4,000 mAh internal battery, so you're definitely going to get very good battery life with it. In addition to that, the fact that this does have an LCD display at 720p means that the display itself won't be using a ton of power, so expect to get excellent battery life with the device. My fourth favorite thing about the device is that it does not feature a notch on the top. Now, one of the benefits with notches is that you typically get a better screen-to-body ratio, so in that sense, I suppose that there are some positives to having a notch, but I know that there are also a lot of people that don't like having notches with their devices, and for those people, they're definitely going to like the Alcatel 3V 2019. You can see here we get this massive display that's not interrupted at all with a notch, and another cool thing too is that the corners on the display are pretty much squared off. They're a little bit curved, but compared to what we get with other devices like the Galaxy A20 and even the iPhone 11, where all of the corners are super curved, which takes away even more display real estate, I just like how we're getting a truly uninterrupted 18:9 aspect ratio at 6.7 inches. You don't have to worry about notches or curves getting in the way of anything that you're doing. There's no doubt that the Alcatel 3V features a very practical design. And I also really like how the Alcatel 3V has a fingerprint sensor on the back. In addition to that, the fingerprint sensor is really quick. And beyond the fingerprint sensor, you can even set up facial recognition. So you can either combine the two and then have whichever one authenticates first unlock the phone. You could just do the fingerprint sensor. You could just do face unlock. You can set things up really however you'd like, but at least with the fingerprint sensor, it is super fast, super reliable, and I really like it. Let's now go over the 5 worst things about the Alcatel 3V 2019. The first thing that I think is lacking about this device is the processor. Now the Alcatel 3V features the MediaTek Helio P22 processor. Now that's not a terrible processor, don't get me wrong, they could have definitely gone way worse. But MediaTek offers way better Helio processors such as the P35 or even the P60. So I would have really liked to see the Alcatel 3V with the P60. I think that really would have made performance a lot better. Now I did run an Antutu benchmark test with this device. So what I recommend doing is downloading Antutu benchmark on your current phone and then getting those scores and then comparing those scores to this device to see if you are getting a performance upgrade with the Alcatel 3V. Now thankfully the phone does feature 3GB of RAM, which I definitely appreciate. And overall, I'm pretty happy about performance. I just know that performance would have really been taken to the next level if they did have the Helio P60 instead of the Helio P22. Another disadvantage with the Alcatel 3V is that there's no wireless charging with this device. Now for budget phones, that's usually expected. A lot of them do not have wireless charging. But if Alcatel had implemented wireless charging in this phone, then I definitely think that would have been a feature that would have made this device really stand out from its competition. I use wireless charging all the time with my various devices that support it. I have wireless chargers in pretty much every room in my apartment, and it's something that's very convenient and something that I've really gotten in the habit of using. So it would have been nice if this phone did have wireless charging. Another downside to the Alcatel 3V is that it features very large bezels on the top and bottom. Now I know that I mentioned earlier that I thought of it as being a benefit that this phone does not have a notch. So one of the compromises of not having a notch is definitely that you're going to have a larger bezel, especially on the top. So the bezels are decently large on the top and bottom. I still think the phone does have a very good design, but it would have been really awesome if these bezels were at least a little bit smaller. Another downside to the Alcatel 3V are the materials that it's made out of. Now, I don't really mind too much about the materials that the phone is made out of, but there definitely is some room for improvement. So for example, running around the sides of the phone is a plastic build, but with other phones like the LG Stylo 5, we have a metal band running around the sides of the phone. So definitely a lot more premium here with the LG Stylo 5. So I wish the Alcatel 3V 2019 had a build quality more similar to this device. And the last thing that I wish was different with the Alcatel 3V 2019 is that I wish this phone had a wide-angle camera on the back. Now the Samsung Galaxy A20 also has a dual camera setup on the back, but the secondary camera is not only used just for depth sensing, but it also features a wide-angle camera lens. So if the Alcatel 3V had that as well, I don't think it would make this phone too much more expensive to manufacture, but it would be a great feature to have. And it would give the secondary camera even more usability. So those are the 5 best and 5 worst things about the Alcatel 3V 2019. What's great though is that the things that this phone does really well are really good. And the things that I listed about this phone that were the worst things really aren't that bad. So there's a lot to like about this device. Overall, I'm a big fan of it. I've enjoyed using it, and it really does offer a lot of benefits. So let me know what your favorite features are about the Alcatel 3V 2019, and let me know your thoughts about the things that I mentioned in this video. But if you are looking to buy this phone, take a look at the link in the video description. Also make sure to watch my other Alcatel 3V videos on the channel. But this is Kevin here, and I'll see you in the next video.